All right, week 2. Start off we're going to wear our black uniform, black helmet this week, so packing black and asking our students and fans to help us out at the blackout in the stadium. And obviously the weather could be warm, so maybe in pregame, have a lighter color on. When the sun goes down, put the black on. But we'd love to have you guys helping us with the cause. Players are excited about it. And just finishing with last week's game, very proud of the execution we had on offense, the lack of penalties, the way that we were able to control the clock and execute on 3rd down and 4th down, the way we threw it and caught it, very efficient. Defensively, there was 4 plays that took away from a pretty good performance, and it's a good learning deal for those guys. We can't be a defense that gives up 150 yards on 4 plays, and they know that. I think, it's a good game for those guys to learn off of, and I thought we handled their up-tempo. The guys were lined up. They were ready to play. We were able to execute a lot of calls on defense, and we were excellent on 3rd down, 8 of 9 defensively on 3rd down in the game. So, it's a game where we just got to get back to understanding every play is the most important play in the game and making some plays on deep balls, which we've worked really hard to do. Happy with the performance that our first game punter, snapper, kicker, and kickoff, all those guys were playing in their first college game and performed well. So, week 2 is about discipline for our guys in the process and watching that film with thick skin and taking the little things in the game very personal and working hard this week to get it off the film in week 2 against a really good Eastern Kentucky team, 9-4 in the playoffs last year, 1-0 this season, scored 52 points in their opener. They're the 14th ranked team in FCS, and it's a team that has a lot of tradition historically. I think the 2nd winningest program as far as trips to the playoffs 21 times, and a team that's got a lot of players in the NFL and has some players on their team now that have a chance to do that as well. But head coach Dean Hood, who's at Wake, was a good defensive coach, and you can see it in their team. They were 2nd in the nation in forced turnovers last year, forced 33 turnovers. So I know he was an opportunistic coach as well when he was a defensive coordinator at Wake. But he's a very good coach. He was Coach of the Year finalist twice since he's been a head coach down there. So look forward to the challenge. Offensively, their quarterback, I guess, had an allergic reaction last week and didn't start. But number 4, who's a transfer from Cincinnati, is who we expect to see. And they have played 2 quarterbacks. But their tailback's really the guy that makes their offense go. Is a preseason All-American, number 7, Mobley. And averaged 5.8 yards a carry, had 20 touchdowns last year, so very productive season. 2 big receivers, 2 6'5" guys, and Glover had 2 touchdowns in week 1, and guys that can go up and get it, and have a very good offensive lineman. He plays right tackle for them. It's 33 straight starts, so offensively they've got some good players, and kind of similar with their defense as far as having some difference makers that are transfers. Their running back's a transfer from Kentucky, their best defensive player. In the front 7 is a defensive end that transferred from Ohio State, number 9, Spence. Very quick twitch, great get off, change of direction, good pass rusher. Their cornerback's also a returner, number 27. Had a really good first game and is a very athletic guy that breaks on the ball well. Had a pick 6 in the opener and does some good things for their football team as a returner. Their D-tackles got a lot of experience. They're 300 and 290-pound guys, so big guys on the inside. For us, it's another game where we're going to talk a lot about ourselves with our football team and being disciplined on the process and understanding that if you made plays last week and you played to your ability level, if you felt like you prepared the right way, then being disciplined to do it again. If you didn't, then looking at why things happened a certain way they did, and what do you have to do in the process to keep that from happening so that we can improve as a football team. That's what we talk about is week 2 and what we got to do tomorrow to understand our packages on 1st and 2nd down, on offense, defense, special teams with our punt and kickoff coverage units tomorrow, and then getting into our situations on Wednesday. You know, special teams wise, they blocked 7 kicks last year, and they have a player that blocked 5 himself, number 88, so that's a pretty impressive stat. So we're going to have to be really good on our special teams and our protection with our field goal and our punt team. But excited for the opportunity and to be back at home, and look forward to having another crowd like we did last week. So with that, open it up for any questions.
I know all love to have a game with 1 penalty. So what do you and your coaches do to make that discipline sink in practice? Because everyone would like that, but you guys can achieve it.
I think you get what you emphasize, and you know, that's something we've talked a lot about. You know, one of our foundations of our program is not beating ourselves, and that's on the field, off the field. And so it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of focus. You know, we talked a lot through the week about the process of just getting the call or the play, focusing on what your responsibility is, and then playing with effort, and then just do it again and do it again and do it again, and not have a 70-play focus, have a 1-play focus. And so, you know, our coaches did a good job of preparing our players, and the guys did a really nice job of staying focused in the game. And I just think it's the devil's in the details. You just got to keep beating on it with the guys and not let them get away with anything like that beats yourself. You got to point those mistakes out.
Coach, going into an opener, special teams are always a concern for coaches, and obviously you like scoring touchdowns. Would you like to see your field goal unit out there at least under fire one time, to organizational, just see what he could do in front of the big crowd?
Well, you know, it'll be the answer is no. I'd rather score a touchdown, and I've seen him, you know, in a game, or excuse me, in a scrimmage situation, kick a lot, and I know the time will come, but. We were prepared multiple times, you know, to bring him out and kick, and we just converted. So, you know, it's the way it went down. He'll definitely have many, many opportunities. And I thought, you know, Kyle did a nice job. He was 7 for 7 in the game. It's a pretty good start for him. The snaps were good. The holds were good.
One other thing, too, ask Matt Days, you know, you go through the entire camp building up for the opener. There's a lot of excitement for the team. How about game 2? Is there a concern from the coaches of trying to get back to that same excitement level against a team, you know, you don't know much about?
Well, we actually feel like we know more about this team than we did the first, because they were there last year as a staff, you know. So you have a whole season's worth of film, plus you have the opening game to kind of confirm what you saw a year ago. So, you know, I think there'll be more opportunity to watch film on this team than there was the last. We were watching other teams last week. So as far as being excited to play, I mean, if you're not excited to play, then you got a problem, you know. So, you know, I hope that we don't see that with any of our guys.
Dave, you said that this last week's game was a good learning experience for the guys. Could you elaborate on some of the things that you learned about this game, and you get a better feel for, you know, what the 2015 Wolfpack are going to wind up being?
You know, I don't know yet what we're going to be. I mean, I'm definitely happy with how the veteran players played. I thought they played better than they played a year ago. You can see it across a lot of positions, guys with growth, and we talked about it with multiple players. Hey, remember how you were in your first game last year? Because there was a lot of guys that were first-time starters 12 months ago, and so that was their 14th game, you know, and they were playing a lot better. Dravius Wright was a guy like that. Josh Jones was a guy. I mean, last year their opening game was not very good, and this year it was, you know. So you could see the growth in the team that way. You saw that, you know, the freshmen that played, and there was quite a few. I think we were either 1 or 2 in the country for playing freshmen in the opener. But I didn't think they flinched. I thought they played well. You know, you didn't see a bunch of nerves out there. I thought they played fast, and you know, Reggie ran the ball well. Naheem made a couple plays for us, and so, you know, seemed like a group that enjoys playing the game and prepares the right way, and you know, we'll just see how we go. We got to keep getting better.
As you continue to build this program, obviously you want to continue to build more depth. First game, you want the first team to get a lot of reps, but do you feel like the second team got enough, and how would you rate their performance?
Well, I thought we ran the ball effectively with our second O-line, and you know, our second and third and fourth running backs in the game. we didn't ask Jalen to throw it a lot. You know, we were nervous about him getting hit, but he did have a chance to drop back a couple different times. And you know, once Schooley went down and Tony went to center, and then Bradbury was out, we were, you know, playing some guys out of position up front, and so it made it a little hard to run all the plays we probably normally would have ran with Jalen, because we wanted to run the offense for him in there. But the more snaps we can get those kids, the better, I think. And I don't know if you can ever say you got enough with your backups. I mean, you'd love to play those guys a ton so they're ready when it's not backup role anymore, it's starting role.
I know you've gone back and looked at the Dravius hit on tape, so what did you think of seeing that over again, and how many times have you seen it, you know, nationally?
Nationally, I haven't seen it. I've seen pictures, you know, but it was a great hit. I mean, it was clean, it was physical. I wish he would have picked it up and ran it back for a touchdown. I mean, that's the only thing I wish he would have done different, but we needed that play at that point in the game defensively. We were looking for a spark, and he's a guy that can spark us. I think he has that in him. And so we just got to keep pushing him to be that kind of player all the time, because he is a quick twitch guy that brings some punch when he hits you.
Coach, what's been your impression in terms of the team and the students when you do these alternate jerseys and such, and is that something you want to expand on this year?
The guys are excited about it. You know, I talk to the leadership council every Sunday. We talk about a lot of different things, and one of the things we talk about is what we're wearing this week, and they were all excited. They were smiling, and so, you know, as far as wearing an alternate uniform every year, I think it's something that we will try to do. You know, I think a little bit depends on what the opportunities are. But, you know, it's something I think from a recruiting standpoint and from an excitement standpoint in our locker room, it helps both of those things. You know, I do believe in the tradition of the red and white, and I think, you know, we're not going to stray too far from that. I think that that's important that we stay with that most of the time, but these are young guys that live in a different world growing up, and uniforms are important to them, and it matters in recruiting. And I know last year we got a lot of national pub about our helmet and our jersey combination, and I know our players enjoyed playing in it. So, you know, they work really, really hard. I think every now and then to throw them a bone like that, it's a good thing.
Okay, I remember your first year after the first game, that was the one where you kind of issued the challenge about the people leaving and then coming back. This year after the first game, you thanked the fans for their support. How much have you seen that grow, and how impressed are you with it? I
was really impressed, and like I said, extremely thankful. And you know, our biggest thing as a program across the board, and it's not just in football, it's all the sports, is raising the bar and becoming the best that you can be. And you know, so for us to point out, somebody asked me if there's anything else you would ever want, what would it be? And it's, to me, I'd love to be sold out for 4 quarters all the time. You know, I just think we have such a great fan base, and for our recruits to see that fan base makes us different than any other school in the state of North Carolina. And so that support meant a lot to us, especially when, you know, there was kind of a built-in excuse with the rain. Didn't bother any of them. They were awesome, you know. I mean, they got a little wet. They brushed it off. They came in, and they were loud, and they were there the whole time. It was awesome, and that's all I can ask for. You know, if we can continue to get that, and that makes us a better football team.
Stay safe during severe weather with the new WE.
All right. Thank you.